FIFA 23 is fast approaching, and so that you get the very best start to Ultimate Team, I'm going to go through my step-by-step process which I use every single year, and it always leads to me making hundreds of thousands of coins before the standard edition is released. But before we do get into the video, if you do want to hit the ground running when FIFA 23 is released, Mule Factory are planning to release FIFA 23 coins. So if you are looking to buy coins and you want to hit the ground running, make sure that you head into the link in the description down below, and at checkout use Fnatic5 to get a 5% discount. And getting back into the video, every single year I have a set routine, and it's likely to work this year because EA rarely changes up the beginning of Ultimate Team. It works so well for them and it's so profitable that it's a situation of why try fix it when it's not broken. This is everything that I aim to do on day 1, and I'm also going to lay out some basic overview of what I do for 2 and 3, which normally leads to me having hundreds of thousands of coins on the account without me having to do anything too crazy. And this really doesn't matter if you're doing this on September the 27th when the Ultimate Edition releases, or the 30th which is the Standard Edition. The only benefit that you have if you do have the Ultimate Edition is that you can actually double up your coins, because you can then go through the exact same process again on the 30th and you're going to be in a much better position. But if you are still getting a Standard Edition, you can still aim to do this, but you're just going to have to do it on the 30th rather than the 27th. So the first step is getting into Ultimate Team and immediately getting coins in your account, and there is no quicker way than actually completing your objectives. Your starter objectives are insanely easy, that most of them can be completed within about 5 minutes. It's just a case of applying contracts to players, applying contracts to managers, changing players' positions, trying to get chemistry links. All of it is incredibly easy to do, and some of them will reward you with bronze and silver, maybe even a gold 1 player pack if you're lucky, but the rest will gift you coins. 150 coins per objective, and there's normally 4 in there which gift you coins, so you should be able to end with 600 coins in total. This is where we go to step 2. You want to start trading with those coins. Most make the mistake of just going straight into a match, but the best thing to do is to use the bronze trading method. The bronze trading method is quite simple. You just head over to the transfer market, select the quality as bronze, go through the transfer market, and once you find a player with a bid on, you're going to add them to your watch list. Now at this stage, bronze players don't have a crazy amount of attention, but they are still used to go and complete some of the beginner SBCs, and a lot of people make the mistake of buying them, but in this case it works out well for us because we can trade with them. If they have a bid on them, it's a good indication that there is a much higher buy now. That is why you're adding them to your watch list. That is why you're comparing the price, just so that you can see exactly what that player is valued for at that current moment. And it is extremely likely that there is a higher buy now, more than 250 coins. For the sake of this example, and we're going to use small numbers, we're going to say that you can sell this player for 350. That means you can place a 200 coin bid and you'll be able to make 150 coins profit. Just a little less because you also need to take into consideration a 5% EA tax. But with 600 coins from your objectives, that means you're able to get 3 players. And you will be able to list each of them for 350 each, and hopefully by the time you finish your first match, you're going to have 450 coins in profit on top of the 600 that you had originally, taking you above 1k. And this is just using basic numbers. For a lot of the bronzes right at the beginning of the year, you're able to place a bid at 200, sell them for 800 coins plus. So it's likely you will find better deals. But either way, once you are done trading, this is where it takes us to step 3. Step 3 is a simple one. You're going to play a squad battles match. This does 3 things. Firstly, you're going into a squad battles match, you're able to decide the difficulty so that you should be able to win. At the end of that game, you should be able to get around 600 coins. The second thing is that you will be able to get points at the end of that game, and you will be able to progress through squad battles, which will also give you another reward. You just need to wait until the end of the week for that one. And then finally, the third benefit is that it will complete that last challenge for your beginner objectives. Now you can go and complete the whole group, and you should be able to get the reward from completing a match, and also a reward for completing all of those objectives as one. This also gives time for those players that you did just buy into, for them to hopefully sell on. And even if you had a poor selection of players but were still able to make profit, at the very minimum you should have around 1,500 coins. This takes us to step 4. Most make the mistake at this point of using those 1,500 coins to buy maybe 1 or 2 players which they're going to throw into their team. The problem with doing this is that now you have no coins to trade with. Now yes, you may have a better team by adding 2 new players, but it doesn't really change anything. You're still going to get a very similar amount of coins at the end of the next game. Instead of doing that, a better approach is to use the new coins that you have on your account and throw them into the bronze trading method again. Except this time with 1,500 you should be able to get 7 players with 100 coins left over, and even if we take a very poor example again and you can only sell each of them for 350, you should be able to make just over 1,000 coins in profit, and already this gives you a much better return than if you were to buy 2 rare gold players to improve your team and play just 1 game. But do remember, you still have your starter squad, so you could do the exact same thing again. Use your starter squad, go into a squad battles game, it'll take 20 minutes. At the end you'll get about 600 in total for that game as a reward, and then on top of that, once you go into the menus, hopefully some of those bronze players have sold. Moving on to step 5. This is just rinse and repeat. The best thing for you to do is to keep using a trading method that works, and in between buying those trades, you'll go into play a match, just one, and then by the end, hopefully some items have sold, you'll then buy more players and just keep this loop going. Now with this, I have 2 main rules on my day 1. The first rule is I'm not buying players for my team at this point because I want to have as many coins as possible to build up my coin balance. Now I do have a number in mind that I want to reach before I start looking at building a team. And I say minimum, it is 10k, but we will talk a bit more about this in a second. The second rule that I have is I only play single player games until I have a full gold team. The reason for this is because I'm not a good player. I want to have as much of an advantage as possible, and because I know how to trade in this game, I will trade, build up my coin balance, and then I will use those coins to buy into a full gold team, and then hopefully when I go into an online match, that team will give me a bit more of an advantage even though I'm not as good as a player. That team could hopefully carry me a bit more compared to my opponent's team, which most likely won't be as good, especially on day 1. So step 6 is using everything that we're doing right now, just keep that cycle going up until I reach 5,000 coins. At this point, it's taken way too long to find bronze players that it's no longer worth it. You're better off moving to a bulk bidding method where you look for a rare gold player and buy them at their minimum price, but you're able to sell them for around 300-400 coins in profit. Now I can't tell you what type of player to use, but normally on day 1, because there are so many people opening packs, you will be able to find and pretty much use any type of player within the game. Any player that is appropriately listed you should be able to use. And even though you are only making 300 to 400 coins profit per card, you should be able to get quite a few of these and you should be able to list them, which eventually leads to you making 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 coins every single time you sell a full batch. And that gives you more coins that you can use to go through the exact same method. Now this is what I use up until I get to 10k. This is where you have a choice, and this takes us to step 7. Depending on the type of player you are depends on which road you want to go down. If you are a very confident player, you can play a lot of games, you can go through divisions, and you're able to win the majority of them, you want to use those 10,000 coins to buy a full gold team. This will give you the best edge over your opponents. If you're like me and you're not so much of a confident player, but you have a bit more of an understanding with trading, what I recommend doing is carry on using the bulk bidder method all the way up to 20k. Now this won't take too long. With 10,000 coins in total, you can buy quite a lot of players with this. And by the time you've used all those coins to bid on players, a lot of them are expiring, you can list them onto the transfer market, and by the time you've listed them, they've probably sold on where you can use the coins to immediately reinvest. The reason that I like to push for 20k is that I will still buy a 10,000 coin team in total, and for a lot of people they're like, what's the point on that? It's because I then have 10k left over. So I can play games, I can have fun, but even if I'm losing those matches, it really doesn't matter because I'm buying quite a lot of players in between those games and I'm still able to trade. Whereas if I just settled for 10,000 coins and then bought a 10,000 coin team, I'm left with nothing. I need to start again, which means going back to the bronze trading method, and that's going to really slow down my momentum. And then finally, step 8, this is normally the last thing that I do on day 1, is I just carry on grinding. I know that sounds like a broad one, but I will carry on going through divisions, I'll carry on building up my coins and progress through there. I'll spend time trading using a bulk bidder method. It's rare for me to go outside of that trading method because the bulk bidder method works so well in the first couple of days, even the first month or so of a new ultimate team. So I will carry on using it on day 1. And then the last thing I look at is SBCs. This is let's get started, let's keep moving, and let's move forward. All of them normally require you to complete using bronze players, and they are incredibly easy to do, but they can give more bronze players that you can use for future SBCs, and some even give silver players. All in all, and there's quite a lot that we've just gone through, but it normally takes me around 2 to 3 hours depending on some of the trades that I'm able to make. And this is normally 2 to 3 hours of me using my early access, but this year it's different. So I may be able to spend a bit more time and build to a much higher coin balance than what I've been able to do before. My focus after this, which is normally day 2, this is when I start to look at the more advanced SBCs, such as the hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, league and nation hybrid. There's normally 12 challenges in total spread across these 3 SBCs. Each of them cost anywhere between 10 to 20k, and they can be extremely tedious to go through because you may need loyalty on a player to get maximum chemistry. And the easiest way around this is to go into a game, forfeit, and do this 10 times. So this is why I normally leave it to my day 2 task, just because it's incredibly tedious and it takes so much time. But anyway guys, this is the step-by-step process that I normally take when starting a new ultimate team. And every year I go through this process, it always leads to me being in a much better position compared to the average player. I'll start on the release of the ultimate edition, and I guarantee I carry on going through this. Normally it is on day 2 after I've traded whilst also going through the advanced SBCs, where I'm able to have over 100k. Normally I'm scraping about 200k. So I promise you, if you do follow this process, you should be in a very good position. If you do have any questions though, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.